Welcome to 5 Good Minutes.
You're listening to today's inspirational message on the book of Daniel
with Kurt Bjorklund.
Today we're beginning our study of Daniel 3. You've already seen some of the trajectory of this book, and the first 6 chapters really deal with the account of the exile, and then the second 6 chapters dive into really a sense of the prophetic, even though there's some prophecy in the beginning. But in Daniel 3, we have one of the famous accounts of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego and their journey into the fiery furnace. And it begins with King Nebuchadnezzar making an image that's, according to the notes in most Bibles, 90 feet tall, 9 feet wide, probably was similar in size to some trees of that era that were local, that they probably cut and then gold-plated this thing to make it into an image to be worshipped. And our immediate temptation might be to say, well, okay, that's a great story from the Old Testament, and is pretty removed from where we live, because I haven't been asked to bow down to any 90 feet tall gold statues. But really the issue here is one of taking the dogma of the day and being told to either hold it, bow down to it, or else. And the or else here in Daniel 3 was be thrown into the fiery furnace. But in the day that we live, there may not be a fiery furnace, but there's a sense of being disregarded, being minimalized, being held not to be with culture today, especially if you hold some biblical convictions among some groups where it's just seen as being against the era in which we live. And it can radically change from group to group. When you're in high school, it can be one thing, college another thing. If you're in corporate America, it's one thing. If you're working among different political parties, it can have different agendas, all of which can be counter to the very things of God. And you can get the message that says, if you don't hold to this, then you will be lightly regarded. You will be disregarded. You will be dismissed. You might even be canceled if you hold to something completely different than the rest of the culture. I remember when I was in college, I worked a job for a couple of summers, and it was with a rough crew of guys. And one day, the girl that I was kind of dating that summer brought me lunch while I was there. And when she left, some of the guys started talking about her in a way that was not flattering, not honoring, some of those kinds of things. And it was a moment where I had a choice to either say, I can just let this go, I can fit in and kind of talk about her in the same way, or I can make a statement that's to the contrary. And on that moment, at least, I made a decision to make a statement to the contrary. And for the rest of that summer was ridiculed as a guy who didn't have normal drives toward women, because I wanted to defend how that woman was seen. Now, I've made plenty of other decisions in my life not to go with the crowd, but here's my point. Your situation will change over and over and over again, but you will constantly be put in a place where you will either say, I'm just going to go along to get along, or I will go against the crowd, go against the grain, and there will be some peril. And the peril, certainly, of being ridiculed by some coworkers is nothing compared to being thrown into a fiery furnace, but it is real just the same. And our culture has changed in the last 5-10 years. If you've listened to me talk, you've heard me probably talk about this at some point. But I really believe that what was true maybe 5 to 10 years ago is no longer true. And that is, it used to be, you do you, I do me, don't tell me how to live, I won't tell you how to live. And our culture has changed to where people want to tell other people how to live, what to believe, how to think about issues. And if you go against the cultural norms in those areas, then you will be dismissed. And that issue is the same, and we see it very clearly here in Daniel 3, 1 through 7. So let me ask you today, where is it that you find yourself at odds with culture? And if you're never at odds with culture, maybe you're not following the God of the Bible.
Thanks for joining us here today. There's a lot of great content to explore on Orchard Hill Plus and on the Orchard Hill main feed from the weekend. Have a great day.